Next one, we will see profiles. Okay, already I have given some introduction. So, right. What is a profile? What is a profile? Profile contains set of permissions, right? Profile contains set of permissions. So we have seen already, and what are the permissions we have in the profile? We have record type permissions, page layout permissions, field level accessibility permissions, and object permissions, Apex classes, Visual Force pages, and some administrative and general permissions, right? Did I miss anything? Let me see. By using profile, you can provide permissions to the users. Okay, so you can have multiple users for a single profile. Go to any of the profile, go to system administrator. Okay, so page layouts, field level security, applications, tab settings, record types, some administrative and general permissions, and object permissions. Okay, and we have Apex classes and Visual Force pages, right? So these are all the permissions provided by a profile. Okay, so can we directly create a page layout? We cannot create a page layout. We need to clone the existing page layout, right? We have seen this concept. So you cannot directly go and create a new page layout. What you have to do is you have to use the existing page layout and you have to clone it, and if you want to use the same one you can use, or else if you wanted to add more fields, or you wanted to delete some of the fields, or if you wanted to add any custom buttons, all you can do in your page layout. In the same way, we cannot create a profile directly. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to clone the existing profile. You can take any of the existing profile which can suit similar functionality what you are expecting, right? So that you can create your own profile, right? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a new profile, and see, it is asking you to take one existing profile, right? So what I do is I will take system administrator. Okay, and I wanted to create a sales rep profile. Save. Okay, now I have created my sales rep profile, but that is cloned from the system administrator, right? So system administrator is having full access, right? So he can do anything. See here, he got access to all the objects, right? So I don't want this. In that case, you can edit it. You can edit and you can give whatever permissions you wanted to give, and you can remove whatever you wanted to remove. Okay, so this is how you can create a profile. So what if I wanted to add a user? Go to users, right? So click on new user, sales rep, user, email. For now I am giving my email. Okay, so username must be unique. And profile, I want to give sales rep profile. See here, you have to change the license. For each and every license you can create up to 2 users, because this is a free account. It won't give you permission to create multiple users. Okay, so already with this Salesforce license we have created one user. What is that user? We have created a system admin user. So what is the license system admin is having? Go and check. This is system admin profile. user, and see, he got the Salesforce license, right? And again I am creating one more user with the same license, right? So we can have two users for single license because it is a free edition. If he allows us to add multiple users, then there is no need to go for license. Then there is no need to go and pay some money to the Salesforce, right? So that is why he restricted people here, because anyway every organization must be having multiple users. If that is a small organization, you can manage with 2 or 3 users, right? That is why he is not allowing us to create more than 2 users for single license. Okay, right. Profile, we have sales rep profile. See, for this Salesforce license you can have only these profiles. Okay, if you change this profile, then you will be seeing some different profiles. See, for this charter external license you have only charter external user, and if you take force.com application, see, you got only that. Okay, so depending on the license you can add profiles. So I want to have Salesforce license here, and I wanted to have sales rep profile, right? No problem. Even though it is specified with red color symbol here, but role is not mandatory here. Even though you don't provide any value in the role, that is fine. You can create a user, right? And if you come down, see, you have to give this value: generate new password and notify user immediately, so that the user will be getting a verification email, and if he click on that, he can generate a new password, right? So these are all not mandatory fields. Okay, so if you wanted to provide some information like address and all, you can, but nothing to worry, these are all not mandatory. So we'll go with the basic information, right? So we'll check whether this username is available or not. If you click on save, right, that is fine, that username is available. Okay, now we have created a user with sales rep profile. Okay, right. Now check the email, mytrading.sfdc. Check that email. See, we got a email, right? So click on this link, then you will be navigated to this screen so that you can create your password. Save, right? That's it. We have created a user account, right? But now this user is having sales rep, but I have not done any modifications to the profile. So it is almost similar to admin. He can go and see any of the data. He can see all accounts, right? So that is why we need to have restriction to the user, because users should not have full access to the organization. So they may, mislead the information, right? So we should not have full access to the users. Only admin and people who are working in the higher hierarchies should have unlimited access. Okay, so for that what you have to do is you have to go and change your profile, right? See, we'll see the object permissions. So this guy is having permissions to all the objects, right? So what I do is edit, and where is the lead, right? Remove the permission to lead. Okay, so I have not saved, but before saving this I wanted to check with this user whether he is the sales rep user. Check whether this user is having access to lead or not. So he is having access, right? He is having access and he can see all the leads. Now what I do is I modified it here. This is my admin user. I am just using my alt tab to move from person 1 to person 2. In person 2 I have sales rep, and in person 1 I have admin. So as a admin I am modifying my sales rep profile. Okay, so I am removing access to the lead object. Let's see what happens. Click on save. Right now, if you go and check, the sales rep user should not be able to see the lead records. Go and check. Insufficient privileges. The lead tab itself is gone, right? So that, in this way we can restrict the data access. Okay, so I wanted this user to have access to lead object, but that should be limited. That should not be like view all and modify all. If you give view all and modify all, he can go and see records of all the users, lead records of all the users. What I wanted to do is, I wanted to restrict the accessibility. Go here and just give read permission. For now what I am doing is, I am just giving read permission. Okay, so there is no create permission. He can see the records, but he cannot create lead records. Click on save. Right, go to user. I am just using my alt tab. Right, if you refresh, he should get this button lead here. Right, he got it. Now he is able to see the record. Just click on any of the record. Right, he is not able to edit. There is no edit button. Right, there is no edit, delete. Right, so go to go to leads, and there is no new button here. If you got new button, you can create a new record, but there is no new button. So what I do is, now I go and give create permission, edit it, come down and go to lead object permissions. Right, here it is. So what I'm doing now is, I am giving this create permission. Click on save. Right, go to that user, sales rep user. If I refresh this page, then I should be able to see a new button here. Right, click on refresh. See, I got a new button. What does it mean? Now I am able to create a new record. I created, right? But I don't have edit permission. I don't have any edit permission. Even though that is my record, I am the owner of this record, but I don't have edit permission, because in the profile, the edit access is not given. So now what I do is, I go back to my profile as an admin, and what I do is, I edit the profile and I give edit access to the lead records. Go to object settings. See, you have this one. Click on edit. Right, and this user is not having delete. He can just edit, he can just create and read. Right, see, save this and come here to the user. Right, now he should get delete button here. If I refresh this page, he should get delete. Sorry, edit. I did edit. I have given edit access, right? Yes, I have given edit access. There is no delete permission for this user. Right, I have given edit access. So now he is able to edit the record and do some modification and save. Right, he is now able to edit. Okay, so now I give this delete permission also. So this way, depending on the user role, okay, you can restrict the access. Now I have given delete permission. Save. Now there is no delete button. If I refresh, I should get deleted. So profile is very, very, very important. Okay, so if you are working on service side, then definitely you will be getting lot many issues on profiles and roles and data access and all. Okay, so in some organizations there may be users more than 1,000, if that is really a big organization. So every time new employees coming and going, right? If there are 1,000 employees working in your organization means every month there may be some floating. So one person may join and one person may leave. Okay, so that we have to provide access to that person based on his profile, based on his hierarchy in the organization, right? So this is very, very important. And if you join a organization, definitely you will be working on this. Okay, I'm not sure whether you're going to work on integration or whether you're going to work on Visual Force or not, but definitely a developer has to know all this information. Profiles and roles are really very important. Every day they'll be as part of your life. Every day you'll be dealing with these kind of things. Okay, right. So now in the same way, do with some other permissions. So take some other object and you practice. Okay, check whether you are able to see by modifying different conditions, so how that user is going to be affected. Just check. Okay, now what I do is I go to this field level security. Okay, see here in the profile, sales rep profile. So I cloned it from my admin profile, right? This is user. Okay, go to sales rep. See, edit read only fields. So as a admin you are able to edit read only fields also, but as a user you should not be able to edit read only fields. So you have to remove that kind of permissions. He is a user and he should not be able to edit the read only fields. Right. Remove this. So there are some permissions in your admin and general permissions, in the administrative and general permissions, which you have to check. Okay. So as a user, he should not be able to manage users. He should not have that permission, right? And manage sharing. And you have to remove that kind of permissions. Anyway, they'll be giving you the data information. Whenever you are creating a new profile, they will give all the information, what permissions this profile should have. Okay, and what he should not have. So based on that you can create a profile. Okay, nothing to worry about it. Definitely they will be giving the clear information. If they don't provide any information, then you should not create a profile, because you have to create a profile by cloning any of the existing profiles. If you clone it, we don't know what exactly the permissions the user is going to get. Okay, so that is why you should have a clear document which is having the full information of what permissions this new profile should have and what it should not have. Then only you have to proceed. Okay, right. So I will go and check my field level accessibility. Right. So go to account fields, edit, annual turnover. This is a currency field, right? So what I wanted to do is, I don't want this user to have visibility to this revenue information. Okay, this is currency information and I don't want this sales rep user to have access, to have visibility. Remove it. Okay, so I have not saved. Before I save, I wanted to just check whether this user is really having this access to these two fields or not. Okay, so before saving the record itself, just go and check. He is having access to both annual revenue and annual turnover. Okay, now I don't want this user to see this information, right? I have removed read access and just save this. And if I refresh, I should not be able to see these two fields. They are gone, right? So this is how you can have field level access also, right? What I do is, if you come down, go back to profile. I wanted to check that practically. Go back and check the visibility settings of account. He can see all the accounts, view all. So what I do is, Go to any of the accounts. Right. So give annual revenue also. Save it. Take the ID of the record. By using ID also you can access the records. Okay. So just in the URL you have to pass the ID. So I will show you how you can access the record by using ID. This is the ID. Okay. So go to your user and after salesforce.com remove all this information and paste your ID. So he is having view all for the account object so that he can see, but he should not see revenue information, right? See, as a user you are not able to see the revenue information, but if you go and see as a admin you have the access to revenue information. Here for the same account for this American Banking Corporation, this admin is able to see the revenue information, but as a user, person to sales user, as a user now you are not able to see the revenue information. So this is how you can control field level accessibility. Okay, so go to profile and you can see your field level security and you can modify any of the object fields. Okay, so you can modify any of the object fields so that you can specify the accessibility to the user, right? Any doubt here? Right. One more thing, what we have tab settings. Okay, now I wanted to deal with the tabs. So what are the tabs? These are all nothing but tabs. Okay, these are all the tabs. So for this guy, for the sales rep user, right, see, I don't want him to see this sales, I mean cases. So cases tab is visible to this user, default on. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make it off, default off. Okay, so go here, this is user. This user is able to see the cases tab here, right? I go to my admin and save this. I have removed, I made it as default off. Now go and save. I saved it and come back to user, and if you refresh, this should be removed. There is no case is gone. And in the same way I wanted to do for orders, solutions and products. This is my admin. If you see my name, that is admin, or else this is person 1, right? Products, make it default of. Solutions, orders, before saving I will show you orders, solutions and products. These are the three things I modified. Okay, so where is orders? Orders default of, products default of, solutions default of. Okay, so click on save and go to user and just refresh so that these three will be removed. They are gone, right? This way you can restrict the accessibility of the tabs. Okay, right. Next, record types. This user is having all permissions, 3 different record types we have, and this user is having the permission to 3 different record types. And what is the default here? So one record type is made as default. I will show what is that default mean. Okay, so go to user, click on account. If you click on new, by default that prepaid will be selected. Okay, by default it is selected because in the profile you made prepaid as a default record type. That is why now you are able to access it. I mean by default you are able to see prepaid here. Now what I do is, see once again I will show you. If you click on new, by default prepaid is selected, right? So now I wanted to modify it. Click on edit. Now I want to make postpaid as a default. Click on save. Right. Go to user. If you refresh, the prepaid should be changed to postpaid, or else you have to come from the beginning. Yes, prepaid is changed to postpaid. Or else if you come from the start, click on accounts, click on new. Now postpaid will be selected. Right. Again, if you want to check it again, right. So save it. On this page only you can see record types after saving. So yes, edit. Now I want to make this broadband as my default record type. Save. Now if you refresh again, postpaid becomes broadband. Click on accounts, click on new, and broadband customer. Okay, so this is how you can make your record type default, right? So this guy is having permissions to 3 different record types. Okay, so there is a criteria, something like these salespeople must work on only either mobile or broadband. So mobile means prepaid and postpaid, and broadband means this one. So this user should not have accessibility to broadband customer. He should not be able to create this record type account. Okay, in that case, just go to record types, edit, and remove this permission. Okay, now he is not having permission to create broadband customer account records. Okay, see here, immediately it is changed. See, it is broadband, and if you remove it, this is gone. Prepaid became the default. Click on save. Now go to user. If I refresh, this should be removed. You don't have access to broadband customer, right? This way you can restrict the record type visibility or record type access. Okay, yeah, we discussed the remaining things in the tomorrow session. Okay, so whatever we discussed today, try to practice it before we meet tomorrow. Okay, so that you will get some idea, otherwise you may be in confusion. Okay, and try to do that task also. You have to update the record type by using workflow. Try to do that also, and let me know if you got any doubts, right? And try to practice on all the validation rules. Validation rules are very, very important. Okay, why validation rules and formula fields, please don't neglect anything. Whatever we are discussing here, these are the basic things for you in the real time. Okay, somewhat I am going, the exact real time scenarios, but I cannot, cover all the real time scenarios, right? So this basic knowledge is mandatory for you to apply this knowledge in the real time. Okay, so you should not neglect anything. You have to learn everything, right? So thank you guys.